Uranus is also, Uranus in Leo also has, it's almost like your pride doesn't exist if you're in Leo. Artistry or creativity kind of becomes a little different. Things that you enjoy that relate to art, music, dance, any sort of form of expression, it comes out in a different way. It's more towards social expression, social creativity, social innovation, right? So you work towards the goal of the collective more than the individual. Individualism, in a way, Leo is kind of lost there. Not lost, but just, it's more for like you and I. Uranus and Virgo is definitely a lot to do with health. Your sudden changes in health, sudden changes in the way you perceive purity or cleanliness, or very similar things where you feel like, it's not supposed to be this way. There's Uranus in this case, because it also works with nervous energy. There's usually nervous energy with certain parts of the body. So Virgo rules the stomach, I believe. So you probably have like gastrointestinal sort of, not necessarily intestinal, as it is intestinal, is it stomach? Similar in that area, the gut area down there. So, by the way, I wanted to show you, I'm going to probably have videos about showing what I cook. So this is the, you can see it. Ta-da! It's like this dough I make, and I mix it with a bunch of spices. I'll show you later, probably in a different video. Anyways, so Virgo, the Uranus in Virgo is like that. So service becomes unusual. You do things kind of, you know what to work with in terms of service. You don't just do service for the sake of service. You kind of have this different like aha ideas all the time, or like it gives you Uranus kind of gives insight in a certain way. If it's not really directly aspected to Mercury, it doesn't come through in the mind directly. It comes through something else. Like it's sort of like a sort of unusual thing. But definitely unusual is one of those things. You do things unusual when it comes to your health, the way you servitude, probably even communication as well. You communicate just slightly different because Mercury rules Virgo as well, co-rules with Chiron, probably even Vesta. I'm not sure. Virgo has to have a main ruler. Put this away. I'll be back. So Virgo. Oh, that smells really good. Smell garlic. So, anyways, Uranus then in Libra is unusual relationships, naturally. Unusual way of harmony. There's like disharmony. In a way, it's almost like Eros. In this case, creates disharmony relationships. Your sense of balance becomes imbalance. Right? Uranus in Libra, people experience the way they just relate and how they see the you and I becomes like you and I and what? Right? There's always some sort of question there. But it's definitely unusual relationships. Probably like, I don't know, just weird relationship. Whatever you consider weird is gonna be, that's Uranus. Uranus then goes into Scorpio, which is in this thing. There's a certain sort of tenacity with the Scorpio thing. Innovation becomes sort of almost natural in a way. There's a sort of approach to a deeper understanding to technology in the future and innovation and sudden changes. In a way, Scorpio is able to adapt to that nervous energy. I don't know. I think I feel that. I have nervousness, but like Scorpio is very tenacious. It kind of just goes like, fine, you want change? Okay, let's go with change. It's Plutonian. So it's like that sort of like mixed Plutonian Aquarian sort of whatever sort of thing, right? It's very unusual. Transformation becomes things that are also like, you're like, for me, because I have Uranus in the fourth house. It's also unusual transformation with my things that I've inherited, physical things specifically, because there's also Mercury. It has a lot to do with like things that I experience with the mind and everything up here. So I have a lot of imbalance sort of thing. I have imbalance issues because I have many years, right? So it's part of that whole process. But because it's also opposition to Chiron and Taurus. Taurus rules ears and eyes, I believe, here, this area. Mainly the eyes and the neck. So this is why when you have neck problems here, it has a connection to your hearing as well, your ears. So, ta-da! But I've learned to kind of balance that and not be so nervous, not be so, I was thinking earlier, I've been thinking these days, not just earlier today, the whole like, I think I wasn't really supposed to go into swimming like as a sport where I pushed everything. I crammed 20 years of experience compared to my teammates. This is why I have this shirt that says "Making Waves." This is my swim team. I crammed it into like freaking like 4 years. That's intense. That's intense expectation, training, and it just pushed everything. Like my nervous system got shot, literally. And so now I don't know if I can still enjoy swimming, like in terms of like, I'm pretty sure I can. Like I can just enjoy it, but I won't be able to do it competitively anymore. Which is, at a certain level, it's kind of like, as a human being, it's kind of like, oh, it was my sense of self-worth, it was my sense of reputation, it was my sense of like accomplishing something I wanted to do, but it wasn't what there's this person I follow on YouTube, and she said that it's like there's a difference between ego dreams and soul dreams. I don't think it was meant to be like a soul dream. Like it's good, it's a good experience. Now I know how to swim. Now I know I have pretty much a lot of things about swimming, like where to position yourself, how to handle when you're doing freestyle, for example, when you do backstroke, right? You pull this way and you push the water down. I remember the feelings, I remember everything. That's part of being also having the feeling, because, with Uranus in Scorpio with myself, and Mars is a co-ruler with Scorpio, the body is also familiar with it. So I'm very familiar with what goes from memory into body. So I have that gift, but that was meant to be this very human shell, temporary experience. So in this case, Uranus created I allowed that change to happen, and I made that choice. You have the garbage? No, that's it. Maybe it's on the other side. It's garbage day today. So, so anyways, so now I don't know. I'll probably just be able to swim. I'll probably have to do really slow swimming, because I know that if I move my head suddenly, so it's not like it's completely gone. It's just now I get to appreciate more of that stuff, because now I've got a taste of that Uranian energy where it's like nervousness, sudden changes. The pandemic came, I was nervous, I isolated, blah, 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 blah. But now it's like, well, it's time to chill. It's time to kind of balance things, right? I have to learn how to balance that, because otherwise the karmic woundedness of my Chiron with Uranus, Mercury, Lilith, opposition thingy. Time to chill. Time to connect back inwards and stop being so concerned about what people think. Because that's what it's connected to. I have Chiron in the 10th house. Reputation, ego, right? So, anyways, so Uranus in then Sagittarius is, which one do you have? Uranus in Sagittarius is weird things with like travel, long distance travel, communication, languages, probably relationship with foreign people, I meet strange people for sure. If in this case, it's kind of more like because of my moon in Aquarius, square Mars in Sagittarius. That's the thing. But people who have Uranus in Sagittarius most likely might end up like just experiencing weird relationships with people, encounters, or weird things with traveling, weird things with business stuff like optimism, religion, faith, anything related to Sagittarius, anything to do with exploration. They do things weird with exploration, like they go to weird places. What are the weird places in society? Lots of places, right? Occult stuff, alien stuff. So both are similar in this case. It's sort of Uranian stuff. Occult is more Plutonian thing. But Uranus in this case is all about that sort of like, go out there, but it's kind of like maybe there's a bit of hesitation that might happen as well because it's like nervous, right? There's a certain like unusualness about it's the nervous system. So when you go out there, maybe you kind of hesitate. There's a kind of a pull inwards, pull outwards, and we don't know. It's just electricity, right? Rules electricity, by the way, yes. So Uranus in Capricorn, this is where it kind of feels a little bit like Taurus, but it's more of a social thing where you experience unusual ways of isolation, or like a sort of hermit lifestyle, usual way of succeeding. You see things differently from like it's kind of grounded, but at the same time it's like what is in the ground? What is in the ground? It's like electrified groundedness, electrified success, electrified achievements, electrified sort of maybe also something to do with tradition and your old parent, one of your grandparents, or there's this unusual relationship maybe you had with those things, and also what else is Capricorn about? Sorry, it's early in the morning. For me, it's early. This is early for me. 7:45 in the morning. Yes, it's not that early, but I like sleeping in. I like sleeping early, and I just like sleep. I love sleep.